and it does help,
Yeah.
It helps a lot of people. That's why a lot of people have, pets and animals,
Yeah. And literal like emotional support animals. Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought it was cruel, like, when people were when we have people that are homeless, and literally the only thing that's keeping their head together just enough is the fact they have a dog,
Oh,
And
yeah.
people are like, well, maybe you wouldn't be homeless if you got rid of the dog. It's like, sometimes having that dog is one thing that's keeping them from unaliving themselves and keeping them from giving up,
Yeah.
You got to work, bills have got to be paid, and then it's like your job unfortunately doesn't care if you're having a bad mental health day. Unfortunately, the bills,
Yeah.
the rent, they don't give a shit. They're like, oh, you're having a bad mental health day. Well, how about this? You don't need this anymore. Let somebody else pay for this, and you can just go on somewhere. And it's fucked up. That's another,
Yeah.
which is a whole nother problem right there with society right now. It's like
Yes.
it's like a lot of this just opens up a can of worms. This is going to turn into another 2-hour episode if I let it.
Oh.
but just because it's like people like when you get to the homeless situation,
Mm-hmm.
that should be another episode we cover. But I
Yeah.
mean, um, people, I think a lot of people are homeless because oh well, they don't care. They want to live like that. They just want to be on the drugs and blah blah blah. And being someone that has been homeless, I could tell you that's not the case. And a lot of it's like shit happens. You end up out in the streets, and then it's like after a while, it's just like being homeless is like an extreme fucking like blow to your mental health, your everything. So you're dealing with that, and you're in people like me, like so many people, just beating yourself up because you're in that situation. It feels hopeless, and it's not something that's easy to get out of. So of course, like, yeah, fucking the depression is going to be worse if people are already mentally ill when they end up in that situation. That increases
Yeah.
that, and
Mm-hmm.
and this country's fucking response to that is fucking horrid. It's
Yeah.
like the response to that is like, oh well, we could do these things to help people, to house people, because God forbid, I mean, while we owe other countries fucking trillions of dollars in money, we're still considered like the richest country in. Girl, what are you doing? Richest country in the world, but no one wants to just like part with a little bit of money to let people like live in like houses, because we have so much real estate. Like let's take Los Angeles for instance. When I left there, they were building all these fucking apartment buildings in the North Hollywood area, for instance. And they were like building these lofts and everything. $500,000 lofts, very expensive, because they were like building this like, oh, we're gonna get all these out of towner people with money moving in here.
Mm-hmm.
No, they just end up
Right.
having all these empty, expensive lofts just sitting there.
Mm. Oh, interesting. I
And
thought for sure they would have gotten snatched up.
no. I mean,
Oh.
I don't know how it is now. I'm sure they had to change some things around, probably come down in price a little bit, but also keep in mind COVID came in to play a few years ago. So,
Right. Right.
which is
Yeah, that's true.
that's the other thing. A lot of people became homeless because of that. Because
Yep.
it's like everybody was on like shutdown and couldn't work. People didn't care about the rent. They're just like, oh, you haven't been able to work because you're on whatever.
Yeah.
No, that's not our problem. Oh, you haven't been able to say because you had COVID. Well, maybe you could be sick somewhere else.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
that's how fucked up and heartless like the people that run this fucking country are. How the rich people are. This is, oh God.
Yeah.
It's and being somebody that's had to deal with that firsthand and still saw it, and it was bad enough when I was homeless, like because I was homeless right before I moved out here, almost 10 years ago. I was sleeping in my car in a Denny's parking lot in North Hollywood. And the homeless problem was bad then, but in almost 10 years later, and after a pandemic, it's increased like 300-fold right now. It is
Yeah.
like, it's bad out here in Indiana too, because I mean, you don't see it as much as you would in LA, but it's like you go to certain areas, boom, you
Yeah.
know,
Definitely.
and that definitely does, being in a situation like that does stuff to you. Like
Hmm.
if you're even if you were pretty much mentally stable before that, you have to live like that for a while, or if you've been like that for a couple years or whatever, you're not going to be mentally stable after that. That does something to you. And people want to blame drugs, and yeah, a lot of people do use drugs because that's how they have to cope sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe give people a reason for hope, maybe.
Hmm.
If you give somebody some hope, they won't have to worry about fucking doing shit or whatever. Give some people hope and just help people out. It's not that fucking hard. But now we deal with an administration that doesn't fucking care about poor people. It doesn't care about mentally ill people. It doesn't care about anybody, but except for lining their own fucking pockets. And it's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I'm going to stop there because my rant will keep going. and
No,
it's
it's so valid though. I actually, to be honest, don't think you can actually have a conversation about mental health in this day and age without talking about these things,
oh
because
no.
it is the housing crisis and the cost of living, and then like everything that you touched on. It's like, okay, so no matter what end of the spectrum you start on, they sort of exasperate each other. So like if you had an addiction problem
Mm-hmm.
and then that like got so out of control that you ended up, you know, uh living on the streets, then I could imagine that's only going to get worse. Because
Yeah.
why would you stop when you're basically in the worst position, when you're even in a worse position and you have even more to escape from? Like, it just makes sense. And then
Yeah.
same like what, like you said, of like the mental health stuff. If you were struggling with your mental health so much that you weren't able to function in society in order to survive in the society, then yeah, it's going to make your mental health worse. Or if you just ended up homeless due to like financial reasons, it could lead to mental health problems that you didn't have before, or a drug addiction that you didn't have before, as like you said, a way to cope. So like I all these things, I see how they're like very connected, but like I said, especially in this day and age with the housing crisis, it's kind of like you really can't have a conversation about mental health without touching on it. So
Exactly.
definitely is all tied together. I just wish there was a practical solution for that, because like you said, with the current, and I don't even administration, yes, but also just the people in positions of power,
Oh
like
yes.
the people who are buying up all of the real estate and artificially inflating the cost of housing that have been doing this for the last 10 years. Like, it's just pure greed.
It
It's
is.
so unfortunate that so many things have gotten worse in our society because
Mhm.
of greed.
Like for instance, Y'all's governor, California governor.
Oh God, what'd he do? I don't pay attention to anything, so I don't know
Yeah,
these
he's
days.
he's trying to encourage cities to like just basically like like ban all like any type of homeless encampment. And it's like, so okay, what's
So
your
what are people
solution to
supposed to
that then?
do? Right, exactly. What are people supposed to do?
So
Like,
where are they supposed to go?
right, like there has to be a solution, and I hope that the solution is not criminalization.
Oh, that's exactly what their solution is, though. That's the problem. That's
Yeah.
always been the solution that they've been going for, even back when I was homeless, even way before
Ugh,
that.
it's
They're
so
just like,
unfortunate.
if you're homeless, because if you're homeless, you can't be homeless because shit happens and your life got bad and you just need help to get back on your feet.
Right.
No, no, you're homeless because you're a degenerate trash. That's why, and you don't deserve like any sort of like human like caring or food or
Yeah.
housing. You don't deserve any of that because you're a dredge on society and you scare the tourists away
I
or
feel like
whatever.
that's what makes things even, well, I don't want to say even worse, but that's what makes things so bad is even if, hypothetically, even if we're talking about the segment of people who are homeless because they struggled with an addiction,
All right.
that is something that people need help with. That is something that people need rehab and resources
Oh, yeah,
to help them. Not criminalization. Like that's what sucks so bad is that there are, I'm not going to say easy solutions, but there are more humane solutions. And I also have to be honest, I think that criminalization is more inhumane, but I see people like where I live right now, I see people living in the streets, and the way that some people are left to like struggle, like cause especially the people that you could tell have like some kind of like severe mental thing going on, that they like can't really take care of themselves,
yeah,
that's not humane to just leave people to like rot out there. That's not humane either. Like I don't know what the solution is. It's obviously not a simple solution, but there's definitely got to be a better one than what's going on now and what they had before.
exactly. It's like all the shit you were doing before and the shit you're doing right now is not
Yeah.
working. Time for a new thing.
No.
It's like time to actually go. Time to do the approach that you should have did to begin with. It's like
Yeah.
y'all all claiming that Christian shit. Y'all
Mhm.
all like, oh,
Exactly.
well, now it's time to put up or shut up.